Allowed to do by law is to raise and spend $40,000 a year. And what we do is we raise this money and it goes to assist people in the ward or throughout the city. Sometimes people are behind in their rents. It goes to pay for trips to send children to camps. We used to do that with Lawrence Thomas every year, and just a whole variety of things. And so what we try and do is get it done very early in the year, raise the funds, and then we spend them over the course of the year and then come back to it again the following year. So we really, really appreciate all of your efforts. I know it's always, I got a letter from Jack, what does he want? He wants money, you know, it's always the same. So, and you'll be hearing from me later in the fall or the spring when I decide to run for this again. So, but I really do appreciate your efforts and your support on this tonight. We have a special guest with us tonight, and I want to ask him to come forward and say a couple words. But I have to say, he needs no introduction, but I'm going to give an introduction. I have had the great opportunity to serve on the city council with our new mayor-elect, our new mayor now, he's not elected, he's sworn in, for what I called Vince Gray Madam Chair yesterday. Takes me a while to get going, you know. Step behind. There we go. I had the opportunity to serve on the council for 6 years with Mayor Fenty, and he's a great council member and he's a great mayor. The last 2.5 months since he won the September primary, the last 3 months, we have worked very closely together, and I have been enormously impressed, as I'm sure all of you have, by his energy, by his decisiveness, and by really the spirit he has brought to the District of Columbia. When 15,000 people turn out to your inaugural in the upbeat mood that they were in the other night, and at the inauguration, and just throughout the city as you go around, the real can-do attitude that he has brought, along with his administration, is such a bounce for us here in the District of Columbia. So I can't tell you how pleased I am to serve with Mayor Fenty, and that he came by to speak to us tonight at this fundraiser. So, Mayor Fenty.
Very glad to be here. It's great to be able to come and support the Constituent Services Fund for Ward 2 and for Jack Evans. You all know Jack better than I. He's such a great guy. So many great things we can say about him. He's a very deliberate guy, very patient. He has such a hard time getting to the point. But on the city council, it's those amazingly those characteristics. He's not really. He's really a very forceful guy. Has no patience for any kind of small talk, and always wants to get right to the point. And on the city council, those characteristics are very welcome. Because you need leadership when you're running a city, and I think all of us know that in addition to everything else that Jack Evans is, he really is a leader. And I can tell you, on the city council, we looked to him to lead on affordable housing initiatives, certainly on development issues, and things for Ward 2. And as mayor, we've already looked at his leadership on a huge schools initiative. On some other development projects that we'll be putting forward, on voting rights and statehood issues. So I think it's going to continue to be a great partnership. This is an important night because there are an amazing, I can speak as a ward council member, there are an amazing number of people who, to be honest with you, the money that comes out of these constituent service funds makes a huge difference. I mean, not just people who need their rent paid, utilities paid, although that's important. Youth programs, people who literally don't have enough money to buy their kids tennis shoes or a uniform to go to school. So it's just such a great thing to see so many people out here supporting an important program. There's other things that the government needs to do, but in your own small way, I know it's really great to be able to contribute to something like this. It's the spirit of the District of Columbia. As Jack said, there's a ton of energy in the air, and we're going to just keep building on that energy. So thanks for coming out. And I know Jack wants to thank you again, and and we'll be with him later in the year whenever he decides to decide what he wants to decide.
I just want to ask you, I'll give our mayor another round of applause. We have a real full agenda in front of us, as he mentioned, on the schools, on community policing, affordable housing, and the list goes on and on and on, healthcare. And we are at a place in our city where we really have an opportunity to address these problems. The financial situation is completely solid, and unlike 8 years ago, we can take on really some of the substantive issues that affect all of us. And I can't think of a better person to be leading us in that charge than our new Mayor Adrian Fenty, and look forward to really working with him as we go forward. So again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Enjoy the rest of the party.
You and your friends better batten down the hatches. Because when it hits, you're all gonna wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.